Hello, folks, and welcome to the Accessible Hunter podcast. I'm really excited to have one of our old guys back, man. It's been too long, but Greg, got to talk to my co-host, brother. What's going on over in PA?
Man, I'm doing real well. We're getting ready to get down to the farmhouse today, and I been shooting my 22 a lot, and I ordered a spare magazine from Midway USA, and that,
Yeah,
that that thing came in just a couple of days. So I'm going to spend some more time shooting and less reloading. So it's
that's
fun. It's fun getting out there plinking with the family.
oh yeah, and that's one of the things you try to get people, especially non-shooters, to understand. You're not looking at a high-cap magazine because you want to cause any turmoil. You just don't want to sit at the range reloading all day and get carpal tunnel from your thumb going out of whack.
Especially with kids, buddy. When you got a couple kids around wanting to shoot the 22, if you have a couple spare magazines, and everybody can take a turn.
Hey, that's what it's about, man. Trying to just make more precision. Uh, Adding a can, I think that just saves the neighbors and saves your hearing.
Absolutely, I'm really impressed with the suppressor that we have, especially using the subsonic ammunition. Heck, it makes it like a air rifle. You can't hear anything but the gong going off downrange.
Right. But man, we got a good partner on today. It's our buddy Jeremy Kerr from South Carolina. And man, we've known Jeremy for a good long time. And dude, it's always a pleasure to be able to bring him back on and be able to talk a lot about shop and what we got going on just in the spinal cord world. But Jeremy, dude, how are you doing over in your neck of the woods?
Oh, doing great, man. Just loving life and battling each day. Trying to keep moving forward with some of the stuff we're all dealing with right now. But we just got to keep moving forward. My little 10-year-old daughter keeps me on my toes for sure. She keeps me busy and taking care of her each and every day. But just blessed, man. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be
Well,
with you guys.
you got that mustache rocking. That's the thing we're checking
Hey,
out now.
hey, my wife talked me into it. I guess she
Hey,
got tired of seeing all that white hair underneath my chin for a while, and she's like, you should try doing a mustache. A lot of people are doing it now, and I was like, I don't know. So I did it, and I rocked it out, man.
hey, it looks great, dude. No exaggeration. And here's the
Thank you.
kicker. You see mine, it looks like snowman. It's as
Yes,
white as it can be, brother.
yeah, that's how mine is. Like my mustache has still got a little darkness, but this is all white if I grow it out. So
Jeremy,
yeah.
we're laughing because Mike and I are the snowmen. We're the old guys of the group, and I got more gray in my beard and mustache than I have red anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see a good bit of red in yours, man.
Yeah, I
Mine
know.
is like
That's
Mike knows when I have my goatee, it's nothing but white too. So
it's
yeah,
just good lighting, brother. Good lighting.
That's what it
yeah,
is, right? Good living. That's what I say.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
I
man,
blame.
speaking of,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of Anna, man, I know she keeps you wide open, dude. And 10, what do you guys get into this summer? And I know kids are back to school. It just seems like we blinked and the year's almost over.
Man, she is super ADHD anyway. So, in the school year, we do medicate her to help her, at school so she can focus. But during the summertime, we don't give her any medicine or anything. So I'm hearing daddy, daddy all day long. Let's do this, let's do that. All right, baby, just give me a second, hang on. But normally, we'll just hang out here. I call it the family compound. We're on about 20 acres of land here, so
Yeah.
there's a lot to do. She's got for Christmas, she got a little 50cc dirt bike from her grandparents,
Nice.
and so she loves that. And then the Christmas before last, Santa brought her a 120cc four wheeler, so she
Good
can
Beautiful.
she
night.
can she can choose between the two to ride. And then of course I have that little 250 CC UTV that I get on and ride around the compound. So we'll go riding a good bit up around the property, go down to the bottoms by the creek, and they'll Anna and her niece or cousins, they like to go and hang out in the creek, try to catch minnows and stuff like that, and then she also likes to go fishing, so we go fishing every once in a while. I hit a few of the accessible places around here by the river that have some accessible points where I can just fish from a pier, by the river, and then she
Yeah.
goes by the river and fishes. So yeah, we try to stay busy or go to the lake. She likes to go swim, so I'm really close to the lakes. So
Man, Jeremy, you're so lucky or so blessed. I mean, you guys work hard for everything, and to have that, 20 acres, and then your in-laws live close to you, and you guys can just enjoy that property and get on out. And you guys can, ride around together and get down to the creek. I mean, that's living the best life possible right there, buddy.
absolutely. Well, I don't. I guess today with kids, there's so much technology available. I mean, you think about it. We
Yeah.
had what the Nintendo came out, and that was the only gaming system we had at one
Right.
time. Maybe even the
Atari.
Atari was the first
Yeah.
Atari,
one that ever
yeah.
came out. Yeah, yeah. But and so and my parents were always like, if we got to play that, it was always at night after they
Hmm.
Yeah.
begged us to
Yeah.
come back inside because we were always outside playing, And kids today, they're always either watching like YouTube on their iPads, phones, playing
Right.
games, and I like
No
to limit her.
disconnect.
No, exactly. And
Yeah.
the sad part is a lot of kids nowadays can't even talk to people because they're
Right.
used to being their communications with their phone, they don't talk to anyone, and so it's sort
Right.
of sad to see that, and so we try to limit honest screen time during the summer. So I try to get her outside as much as I can now. And I get it because she is the only child, so when her cousins aren't here, there's only so much dad can do to keep her entertained for a while, plus I
Right.
need a little
Right.
break myself. So I give her some time, a little more time, probably in the summer doing that than during the school year. But
Sure.
it's give and take on everything, So
Jeremy, whenever you guys are, riding and going down to the creek and stuff, you mentioned that you have a side by side. Um, do you have any issues transferring in, or how do you keep up with Anna? She's 10 and full throttle. How do you use equipment to get you in the outdoors?
yes, well, actually, the 250, I was surprised. I mean, it's pretty much a straight transfer right across to the seat on it. It's not that high as most. Like I guess what it is y'all's like a 4 or a 600. What is that UTV you
That
have?
that one we have is 750,
750,
and
and it's a little high off the
it
ground, isn't it?
is, yeah, four-wheel drive, and so it's got a little extended travel. But
Yeah. Yeah,
they,
well, a mine's more of a straight across transfer, so it's
right,
fairly easy to get across. Now, it is meant for, I guess, more of a child or kids, the 250, because I mean, I'm tight in there. My legs, and I'm 6 foot, and I feel like my legs are a little cramped sometimes, especially if you get another grown up sitting beside you. Me and Jenna, we pack that baby out if we're riding together,
that's
But
funny.
eventually, I think I am going to upgrade to a bigger UTV, probably like I've been checking out those CF Moto 1000s, a U Force 1000s, or a U Force 800, and maybe get like a six seater for the whole family. It's a little easier to
Yeah,
get in and out
Nice.
of. And so once Jenna gets through nursing school, she's in her last semester this semester. So once she gets through that, we might look at purchasing one of those in the near future. So, but I just want something a little more power, and having full wheel drive would be great because this one's just two wheel drive. But I mean, I'm telling you though, that little 250, you can't. Not, I've been in some really steep mud hills and stuff, and it climbs right up it. I've never got stuck in it, so yeah.
Do you have
that's
But
do you
I
have any
enjoy
do
it.
you have any hand controls or anything like that that aid?
I do, yeah. I use this to I guess the ones you can buy. I think I bought mine on Amazon. The ones you just attach to it. It's not been factory. I think I will upgrade when I get a new one where
yeah.
it'll be easier for Jenna to drive it and stuff. Did y'all upgrade any on yours, Mike? Or uh,
No, we kind of did the same thing. Just did like the ones we laugh at Jeremy Chapman for with the Velcro and some
yeah,
stuff that's in there. That's pretty much it. But I'm with you. I kind of like some of the other quads that you can drive straight into and do. But now you're talking a whole nother animal with having to pay the price of conversion. And you hadn't seen this part yet, but we got a golf cart that is it's a gas powered golf cart. You know, it starts out on battery and kicks in. That sucker is do 35 miles an hour, and if
Oh
you don't,
wow.
that thing will go, man. And when you get it going, of course, I don't have hand controls on it, but man, my father in law shot across the field the other day, and he had that thing just about Dukes of Hazzard over one hill, and I think it really surprised him how much giddy up and power those things have.
I'm telling you. Well, that little 250 of mine is crazy. With Anna ride, or when she's riding with me, we'll go up the road, on Boyd Moss where I live, and we'll get on the asphalt and we'll tear up. And I mean, I can hit 42 or like 42 miles an hour on the straightaway with just
Wow.
us two in that with a 250, and then
Yeah.
we'll go up to the end, and there's a little um well, no, but there's a rock area. It's called Seminole Road, and it's all just rocks and stuff and dirt. And we'll go on there, and she wants me to do donuts with her, so we'll get on it. She'll hang on, and I'll do some donuts with her, and then we'll come home. But yeah, she enjoys that. She's like, Dad, when I get a little older, can she's been wanting to drive, and I've started letting her drive me around in the little 250. I just say a prayer and hang on and buckle up,
Yeah.
But
There you
but
go.
she does pretty good. But she's like, I want to go and do donuts. So it's like, well, you're just gonna wait till you're about 16, and then you can go do it, try the
You
donuts.
Right.
Because
you
I
know
don't know,
what
I
to
just
tell
worry about them tipping over. That's the biggest
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So
you know what to tell her, Jeremy, as well. I got to start you off on the riding mower first. See how you do cutting grass, and then if you do a good job cutting grass, then you can start driving the side by side.
well, I would. I'm on a sort of a slope of my yard's sort of hilly, and I think I mean I'm okay with trying to teach her how to cut. I did let her ride the lawnmower the other day, and she did fine. Just didn't have the blades engaged or nothing. But my
Right.
wife's like, I don't know. I'm worried she might flip over, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. So I
Yeah.
might have her go cut her grandma's yard though. It's flat, so at
There you
least give
go.
her something to
Get the
do.
mileage. Get that mileage in there. You know,
Yeah.
you got to have X amount of hours in the seat before you can go over to the ATV. That way you get
Yeah.
a bunch of free cutting out of it.
And
Yeah, oh yeah,
every
absolutely.
kid's every kid's different with maturity levels, and some
Yeah,
are
oh
Yes.
ready at
yeah.
10 and some aren't ready at 16. So you
No.
always got to use good judgment, make sure they're
But I'm
safe for
telling you, on
sure.
that little 50cc dirt bike, it'll do about 30 miles per hour, I think, is the max. And
Wow.
I mean, it's quick. And her and her cousins, they like to jump the terrace in the pasture. They'll hit it and get some air on those things. It scares her grandparents to death. But I'm just
Oh,
like,
I'm
Sure.
we
sure.
we did it when we were kids. At least they got helmets. We didn't have helmets back then.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, but
Man,
that's fun.
you know, talking about life and how things go, one of the things we were talking about earlier, man, is just pressure. For people that are listening that don't understand, you know, kind of what our realm is and our path in life, all three of us are paralyzed. Different break levels, of course. Me and Greg are quads, and Jeremy's, I think, what T4 para.
Yeah.
And all three of us are dealing with pressure, man. So how are you holding up, and how are you dealing with yours these days, man? How are things looking?
Jeez. It's been a rough road. I mean, the last, I guess it's going on, like you said, 3 years, dealing with this, wound on my ischium, right ischium. It all started, both my wounds I've ever had all came from the hospital. And I
Yeah,
don't
me
mean to
too.
throw shade at the hospital. I know it's not, they're doing the best they can. A lot of the nurses and stuff do the best they can, but there's some where I just feel like hospitals need to do a better job of giving you stuff, whether it's a air mattress if you're going to be in there for a few days to a week. They need to put you on like a rotating air mattress, something that's going to you know give you a little more pressure relief than their just regular hospital beds. Or they need to do a better job of coming in and make sure and they're turning you every hour, every 30 minutes, whatever. Which I mean, being paralyzed, I mean, I stayed moving as much as I can in the bed, but still. But the last wound I got, it was just they were transferring me from one bed to the other and ended up shearing my butt on something that caused the
Right.
wound to begin with, and they're like, "Oops, sorry," pretty much. Uh, you better start going to wound care so we can charge you more money, basically. But
Jeez.
yeah, that's what it feels like. I spent so much on my back surgery and ended up with a wound, so that's the way it goes sometimes. But um, it's been a process, and I do the nurse practitioner I see at wound care. She's really good, and we've got a good thing going right now. I'm just using a wound vac. And they're putting Prisma. I'm sure y'all are familiar with the Prisma. It's sort of like
Yes.
collagen that, for those that don't know, but and it just dissolves in there and it helps tissue growth and everything. But with the wound vac, it's came up. I think the last measurements we had, um, the depth was like right at 3 centimeters, which
Okay.
is a lot better. And then across like the whole width, I think it's right at 3 as well. So it's about equal all the way around. So it's a
Nice.
lot better than it was when I first started. I had like a tunnel that tunneled down like 6 centimeters, and all that's gone now. So it's coming. It's just slow. You know how it is. And I was talking to one doctor, and he told me that ischiums are like one of the hardest spots to heal up. And I even had a flap done about 3 years ago on that spot, and it stayed closed for about a year, and then all of a sudden it opened up. But he told me that only 60% of flaps on the ischium hold. So that's
Wow.
so I think I'm just gonna try to heal it the natural way, you know.
Jeremy, I've been dealing with that for 4+ years now. And once you get a pressure wound, I mean, it can take 15 minutes to get that wound and years to heal it. And,
Right.
a lot of people will go the route of flap surgery, and some people are really, really successful with that. I've chose to just, keep it bandaged and allow me to be up in my chair and still being able to participate in life, because if you can, spend months and months in bed trying to heal that with the wound vac and whatnot, it can still take years, and you're not able to participate in the life around you. So there's no guarantee. And I'm on the 4+ years, but I'm finally on the mend. I'm seeing some skin growth covering the actual wounds, and it just takes a tremendous amount of time to get these wounds healed.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say, what have you used the wound vac at all with yours?
I've tried it, Jeremy. Whenever I first had the wound, it was a stage 4 pressure wound, and I tried using the wound vac, and I wasn't seeing any progress with it. And my insurance didn't cover the wound vac, so I had a copay of like $450 for the wound vac per month, on top of all the other 20% for the bandages and the
Oh,
collagen and all that. So I was spending over $600 a month just on trying to get that wound healed. So I wasn't seeing any success with the wound vac. So after about maybe 5 or 6 months, I told my doctor, hey, I don't want to be using this wound vac. It's not improving it. It's just really draining my bank account.
Definitely not
oh, I
cost
agree.
effective.
Yeah, they're not. Well, that's just like anything medical, man. They're gonna overcharge us for anything they possibly can. This is like wheelchairs and everything like that, And I just, I mean, it's done a decent job, but it's definitely not worth the money they charge each month. Because I'm with you, Greg. I have Medicare, but it only covers 80%, so that
Yep.
20 they're proud of that 20% that's left. I can
Oh
tell you
yeah.
that. But
And
Greg, you
Yeah.
made a good point as well, man. That a non-nurse practitioner, she was like, "Oh, you try to stay off of it as much as you can, and all that." She's like, I was like, "Well, I'll do the best I can, but I don't tell her how long I'm really up in the chair, But
Well, that's
I'm
the
up pretty
that's the
much
kicker.
but
Yeah.
you got to live life, man. And
Yes.
we're not promised tomorrow. Is
No.
We're not promised tomorrow. And I've done the 6 to 8 weeks laying in bed with these flaps, man. And you're talking about that is one of the most miserable feelings you've ever could go through is laying in the bed 6 to 8 weeks straight, not getting up one time. and having
Right.
everything done. It's terrible, man. And I will not do it again. And my
And here's
wife, she's like, I don't care. We're going to heal it this way, and because she knows. I mean, it's not. She's not complaining about having to take care of me, but she just saw how miserable I was,
well,
and
Right.
having to
here's
lay
the
there
thing.
that long.
Here's the thing too, Jeremy. When you get in the bed for 6 to 8 weeks, you risk getting another pressure wound somewhere
Yep.
else
Yep.
on your heels or on the other side that you're laying on. As quadriplegics, we can't cough, so we're more susceptible to pneumonia, to having
Sure.
respiratory issues. I can't feed myself in bed.
Right.
So that brings on a whole host of other issues. And for a medical practitioner to say, well, just stay in bed for a couple months and,
Right.
that'll heal up that wound. Man, my wife goes to work. I need to be able to be up. I got things going on. I need to be able to live. But unless you have 24-hour care 7 days a week, staying in a bed is just not conducive to my lifestyle.
Well, not only that, I mean, gosh, how much muscle mass I lost in
Right.
those 6 to 8 weeks, man. When I was finally able to get up, man, I was so weak I could hardly transfer myself in and out of stuff.
Yep.
You just don't realize how much muscle mass you lose by not moving around and stuff. Not to think, you're also just think about us when we do get up each day. You're causing more blood flow to that wound
Absolutely.
by
Yeah.
Right.
by moving and exercising than you would just sitting still in the bed. You're not going to get near as much blood flow down there to that. And I will say the home health nurse that comes out 3 days a week, she's all for it. She said, I feel like it's better. I've seen both cases, and I've seen people where they've laid in bed for a year, and yours is
Yep.
out performing them by
Right.
getting up, and stuff.
You guys have mentioned a lot of things that are hitting the spot, and it's, make sure you monitor how you're progressing. Make sure that you're checking it daily. Watch for this and that. I'm with you, Jeremy. I got mine from the hospital, and it all comes back full circle where we're doing the best we can. Of course, we're trying to do it in a positive, responsible way. But at the same token, we still got responsibilities. And, you guys mentioned a lot of things. Depression kicks in if all you're doing is laying around. And I know for a fact my body just does not like laying in the bed. And if I do it longer than a day, man, my spasms pick up. I'm over there causing more problems. And my wound nurse looked at it and said, I can tell the days that you spasm more, you have a little bit more shearing, or you have, vice versa, maybe a little bruise here, or you have something there. All of that's trauma from the spasticity in the bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeremy, have you changed cushions? Did you try to use something different? I'm sitting on a Rojo Quattro, but I know some people have been using the ease cushion with the constant movement and things like that. Have you made any adjustments to your seat cushion?
Yeah, I've actually went with the ease cushion. Right now, I'm sitting on a Rojo today, but I do have an ease cushion. It is they came out with a new one. I think it's like the Ease 2. I had the Ease 1, and it's it sort of sucks there. Like when I bought mine, the Ease 1, like 2 months later, they came out with the Ease 2, and I'm like, dang. But I mean, I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. They just changed a little bit. The only thing I was telling Mike that I was a little disappointed in, and I've had it for a little over a year. It seems like the battery's not wanting to last quite as long as it did before. I mean, I get it. I mean, this is part of it. But I'm in my chair for 12 plus hours, and there for a while
Right.
Right.
it's great. But they do sell like a little extended battery where you can plug it in and everything. And but I mean, it's great, man. Like you can set different, like if you want it moderate or firm, like you can change the times, and it'll either do it like every 30 seconds, it'll deflate and inflate, or every minute, or so. But it's really neat, and it's not really that loud. When it pumps up, it's not any louder than like when your wound vac makes a farting noise or something. The actual
Right.
wound
Right.
vac noise is a little louder than the cushion. I mean, it took me a minute, like when we're at church and stuff, and it goes burn, it's filling up a little bit. Like if I have to go and pray, I'll turn it off before start praying
Yeah,
so
Sure.
it don't go across the microphone.
that's usually when they kick in, man.
Yeah,
Everybody be
yeah,
quiet. We're getting ready to pray, and then that wound vac will do that suction thing or
yeah,
whatever. I'm with you, man. That
yeah,
gets to be more embarrassing. You're looking
yeah,
around like, who made all that racket? Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
me.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's great. I like I said, they are quite expensive. I wish Medicare would cover some of it. Because I think I paid 700 something for the one I have
So they
now.
don't cover any of it. Medicare doesn't
No,
cover any. I got
no,
you.
no. But I will say, um, and then there was one other little issue I was having where it was constantly running, and I was like, "What's going on with it?" And it had it said you needed to check for some type of leak. So I flipped over, shot some, um, I think wound cleaner on the bottom of it just to see if I saw any bubbles, And I saw
Yeah.
one little bubble, so I put like a piece of something to seal it, and I think I used a tire tube little thing, and that fixed it, but. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it would do that because nothing's like tore it. So I don't know. Just stuff like that they need to tweak
Wear
out.
and tear, man. Bouncing on
Yeah,
that thing and hopping over and transferring. It doesn't
yeah,
take
it's
a
gotta
lot.
be.
Do they
Yeah.
do like an upgrade where you can trade yours in or do any
Well,
of that and they maybe offer something different?
I did read now. That's funny. I raised Cain with them too about this, and they finally called me back. But I sent them an email because with the Ease Two cushion, the new one they came out with, they're like, "Oh, we offer a 30. You can pay $30 a month, and it's like a warranty, and it even covers like cushion covers. And that's one of the big things, man. Cushion covers are like $70, or
Oh
something
yeah.
happens to them,
Right.
you need to replace them. Well, if yours tears, all you got to do is mail them back in, and they'll send you new ones. And with this $30 a month, also like if anything's wrong with the cushion, I guess that'll fix it. But I think I read like after 3 years or something, um, they'll send you a new cushion after 3 years as long as you
Nice.
keep paying that $30 a month. So I thought that was cool, but. So I sent an email. I was like, "Well," in the customer service, oh, that was only for East Two, and I was like, well, that's ridiculous. I said I paid 700, same amount. I think it should be available for anyone for who paid East. You want to back or view um, regards your product, and care about think your product's great. You should back it up as well. And
Right.
so, anyways, they some lady ended up calling me back. She's like, Mr. Kerr, I saw your email. If you want to do it, you can do it. So I just got to call her back. But she called me back recently. So
Good.
I
There you
thought that
go.
was cool. So, I mean, that's the problem, man. People don't want to, you got to stand up for yourself if you believe, even if they tell
Yeah.
you no, it's where at least you need to at least tell them how you feel about it. And I was
Sure.
blowing them up there for a little while on their people on their marketing when they're talking about their grease too. I was going there and saying I'm a little disappointed and telling them this, and I guess they got tired of seeing all my negative comments about their product, but it helps. But I really do. It's a great product. I mean, it's nice because I even now, like I'm in this Rojo right now, um, but I try to move around to do my press release, but sometimes you're busy doing something, you don't always get to do it right every 15 to 30 minutes moving around. So that ease cushion, I mean, it's constantly moving you for you, and shifting your weight for you. And it's with all that, you're getting a lot more blood flow down there. So I mean, it's nice. I mean, even my nurse practitioner at the wound clinic, she's like, she thought it was really good, and then she could tell a difference. So.
Nice.
Man, when you're trying to find technology or anything that helps offset any of that, again, our bodies, we're getting a little bit older. We're starting to have osteoporosis, and our posture's not the greatest, and we don't.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't always eat the things I need to, and they keep telling me to increase protein, and there's a lot of factors in
That's what
there,
I'm
but
drinking right now, protein
hey,
shake.
got to get after it, dude. And I'm like Greg. I think this year we're doing a ton better. I got high hopes, but as people with paralysis, that's just part of the gig. And that's what we try to tell people all the time when we're advocating. The paralysis and the non-walking, that's the easy part. It's
Yes.
all
Yeah.
this other stuff that we deal with that really gets down to the nuts and bolts of what dealing with a spinal cord injury is about. So, you know, Jeremy, I guess my next question would be, in your opinion, other than pressure, what would be one of the other hard things that you find in your life that would be something if you were talking to somebody with a new injury to look for?
I would say there's the two biggest issues that we deal with is bladder problems, bladder control, UTIs,
Yeah,
and then bowel problems, bowel accidents. For those who still do bowel programs, trying to do bowel programs every other day or however, those are your two hardest things that we deal with. UTIs, man, there's no telling how many UTIs I've had in
right,
25 years, and
right.
you're longer than me, so I can't imagine how many. But you think I would at least say right now I'm using the Foley since I had the wound. I just don't want to take any chances of having an
Sure.
accident and something getting in there. But I will say, ever since I've used this Foley, and maybe because I'm able to drink more and
Yeah,
constantly move fluid through there, I
yeah,
mean, I haven't had but maybe two UTIs in the last 3 years that I've been having this Folian. And I
yeah.
That's
mean, obviously,
fantastic.
there's going to be bacteria in my bladder, but
Right.
I'm constantly pushing it out so it's not going to my kidneys and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I will say that I've been blessed there. But when I was just doing in outs, man, I'd probably get at least 4 to 5 UTIs a year, and man, I've been septic off UTIs, and y'all probably have
yes,
too, and that ain't no fun. So
Jer-
105 fevers, man, and hurting. And what's weird about UTIs, and I didn't realize this, but until Jenna's grandmother's 90 something years old, and so she's been dealing with some stuff, dementia and stuff, but she's had a few UTIs. As you get older, man, you don't really get the symptoms that we get with fever, aches, and stuff. You start hallucinating. I mean, as you get like she was really hallucinating stuff, and it's wild how as you get older, UTIs affect you differently. So I told
yes,
Jenna, I said, "You're gonna have fun with us when we get older." And I start getting UTIs, and I see people and hear people talking to me. So
but
I don't
you
know.
you bring up two really good points, though, Jeremy, and I could just kind of piggyback on that for a minute. It's nutrition and hydration, and what we drink, during the day.
yeah,
I try to basically stick with water. I always have a tea in the morning, a hot tea to start my day, but then I try to push as much water as humanly possible to, keep from getting the UTIs and limiting my sugar as much as I can.
yeah, yep,
That seems to help. And then I eat a really high protein diet. I'm always, having some type of meat or chicken for my meals, and staying aware of what vitamins I'm taking and what's good for my skin. And, the vitamins A and C and B12, I've really picked those up this year. And I think that's made a big difference in my skincare.
Oh, good. Yeah, you're right. Protein, especially when you're dealing with wounds. I try to eat at least 3 meals a day. I eat for the mornings. I usually eat like a egg sandwich or egg bacon and cheese sandwich, whatever. But it's
Yep.
always egg sandwich in the mornings, and then for lunch I'm either eating like chicken, like you said, or and then in the evening times we have meat. About I'm constantly eating enough meat and protein each day, and then I drink one or two of these protein shakes a day. And I was buying the um some I can't think of the wound stuff that it's pretty
Juven.
expensive.
Juven,
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Juven, and there was some other one that's sort of like a syrup, Prostat or something like that. And it's a little cheaper than the Juven. And it tastes a little better than the Juven, but
Yep.
I haven't bought that in a while. I've just been eating it myself because I mean it's pretty expensive, and that
I
Juven
never
place.
saw that much difference when I was on it. So
Right.
I just I was looking at the cost effectiveness, and then
Yeah.
I finally got my insurance. They're paying for like that premier protein, so I add some of that to my coffee or something in the morning to try to
Well, that
juice
tastes
that
a lot
up.
better than that Juven too, boys.
Heck yeah, it does. I
Juven's
can get it in
rough.
strawberry or chocolate or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
That other's
yeah,
like licking dirt, man. I was like, no.
yes,
And you hate
yeah,
to go that route, but it's rough. But
But
going
yeah,
back to the UTIs, you're right. You guys bring up some great points. And so for the listeners that don't know, when you're dealing with a spinal cord injury, what we've tried to tell guys and girls too is listen, don't just as soon as you see cloudy urine or whatever, automatically jump on an antibiotic or whatever. Get it
right,
cultured, but more so, don't even treat it then. We're gonna be colonized over the years with
right.
certain types of bacteria. If you're not symptomatic, man, just chug more water. And
right.
Kerr, you,
Yeah,
you brought up a great point. I do a suprapubic catheter, and I try to drink at least close to a gallon of water a day. And that's
yeah.
just on top of, I'm gonna have a glass of wine or something at night. But Greg was right on. Just avoid extra sugar,
Yep.
and try to
Right.
really pour the water to it.
The only
And
thing I drink is in the mornings I drink 1 cup of coffee, and then
Yeah,
I drink in water, and then at lunch I drink a diet Dr Pepper, a 16-ounce diet Dr Pepper. The rest is water, water, water to and then in the evening time after dinner I drink another cup of coffee, and then the rest is water. So I'm
you,
staying hydrated. That's the biggest thing. Stay hydrated, cut the sugars down. I mean, it's okay
yeah,
to have a little here and there, but you got to flush it out, keep it out.
absolutely.
guys,
And like
I
you
had
said, what was I gonna say with the what were you saying that you drink a glass of wine? Yeah, that's good for your system too. Just if you drink it one glass of wine or something in the
Mhm.
evening, that's good for your kidneys and everything too. I mean, wine's got a good bit of sugar, so you
Yeah,
want to moderate that intake on it. But yeah,
absolutely.
I'm the
I
same way. I like a glass of wine here and there. So yeah.
I'm jealous of you boys because I really enjoy coffee, and I had to give up coffee because it was giving me kidney stones.
Yeah, yeah.
Believe it or not. So I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a week, and that's kind of like a treat for me. It's usually on Thursdays, Mike. Whenever we
No,
podcast, I'll have
no,
a cup of coffee before so that I'm kind of not lagging behind you, brother. But man,
no.
I would drink coffee every day if I was able bodied.
Oh,
Dude, I'm all
speaking
over it.
of kidney stones, sorry, I didn't mean to, but it just made me
Yeah.
think when I heard kidney stones. Yeah, one day, you know how your catheters they can sort of clog up a little bit, and you have to
Yes,
Sure.
change
sir.
them out or whatever. And I went to go change my Foley out, man, and as soon as I did, I mean, it was like a fountain, just spewed out while I was trying to get the other Foley in. And no
Yeah.
lie, I had a few kidney stones, just coming out of me
Yep.
from and I'm sure it's from coffee and stuff like that. But I was like, wow, I'm glad I can't feel this. I guess it's the only time about
They,
being paralyzed that
yeah.
I can't feel this because some of those suckers coming out, they were pretty good size. I was like, oh Lord, if I could feel these right now, I'd be crying over in pain. But it
Oh,
was
no
it
But
was
doubt.
crazy.
but you bring up a
Yeah.
good point with that though, Jeremy, because Mike and I both have suprapubic catheters, and I've had them come through my bag, but I've also had them block the catheter,
Right,
and then
right.
that can cause dysreflexia.
Oh
And
yes.
if you're home by yourself and you got a kidney stone blocking your cath, that just leads to another problem, and you really have to pay attention to your body and everything that's going on because things can go south in a hurry. And the other thing I wanted to say, we're doing all these things with nutrition and buying supplemental protein and vitamins and things, and it costs so much money to eat healthy.
Yes.
We're not eating McDonald's and Wendy's and things like that. We're trying to really live a clean lifestyle, but man, it gets expensive trying to keep up with the supplements and eating healthy.
And thankfully, it's summertime. Me and Jenna and her dad on the family compound, we had a little garden going on this year. So we've got
Yes,
some
sir.
Yeah.
some good bit of corn here lately, some nice tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that. So
Yes,
Heck
that's
sir.
been
yeah.
nice to have your own food, especially with all this stuff going on with that parasite,
Right,
that's
right.
going
Yes,
around.
sir.
At least we have our
Explosive
own.
bowels.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Nope.
Mike, if you don't, you being paralyzed, and nobody wants to have to deal with that because
No.
that would be a bad day, son.
That's right.
You know,
Gosh.
man, paralysis, we're trying to laugh it off, man. And if I look back at my 31 years and if I were to talk to myself on day one, I'd be like, buddy, you're going to be in for a ride. Some of it's just going to be laughable. But man, there's a lot of things we really face with a spinal cord injury. And it's little things that the therapists try to tell you about. But man, that they can't get all that in the handbook. So, we're trying to keep this informative and keep it funny, but at the same time, guys, man, this has been a great life.
Yes,
And
sir.
I can't thank
Yeah.
having friends like you guys, man, that we can just kind of bounce stuff off of. It goes a long way, dude. So I got to say thank you to both of you guys for not only keeping me in check, but just being able to come on and advocate and talk to people about what life's going to look like. And so, we got to do a lot more of that. But man, Jeremy, what do you guys have closing out? I know Anna's back in school. What's this year going to look like for the last quarter of it?
Well, like I said, she's started back school. My wife is about to start her final semester. Um,
Good,
I
good.
guess August 20th is her first day back, and she should be done by December and with her
Nice.
finish with her RN, and then so she's excited about that. But she's gonna go ahead and get her BSN, and then she's looking at maybe going and getting her nurse practitioner. So as long as
Very
she's
nice.
driven, she's definitely smart enough to do it. I mean, she's really intelligent when it comes to medical stuff, and as long as she's got that urge, I'm going to encourage her to,
Yes,
Hey,
So that's the
yes,
main
plus,
sir.
thing.
hey, that's free medical attention, dude.
Yeah, I
You got to
absolutely.
get
So
on that.
sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing because you know
Yeah,
how it is. Uh,
but
you
that,
know, just a wife is in general. They know everything anyways, and we're just
Hey,
like,
I'm
yes,
not
yeah,
sir.
yeah,
touching
yeah.
that, dude. Nope.
So
Well,
so but now with her being a nurse, she keeps me in check, that's for sure. So but I mean it's good. It's a great thing to have your own personal nurse when you need help, and which we all have our own personal nurse
Yeah.
when someone marries someone with a spinal cord injury because they learn a lot and they do a lot even when
Biggest
we don't want them
advocates
to
by
do it.
far.
yes,
Yes,
Yes.
sir. The
they
three
definitely deserve a lot more than the credit they and I'm always like Jenna, thank you. Oh, it doesn't matter. That's what when we married each other, I was here, sickness and health, and stuff. And
that's
I'm
right.
like, I know, but
The
we're blessed to have women like that in our lives.
the three
So
of us definitely married up, and you know we're
absolutely,
Don't
we're
say
all.
that too loud.
Oh,
yeah.
I say that as loud and as to as many people as I can, Mike, because
I tried not
we
to tell mine
uh,
how much I did marry up. I don't want her to know that.
oh, it's it's amazing, that we have such good relationships and loving wives that are concerned about us and
Yeah.
kind of keep us on our toes. That sometimes we'll try to blow something off or power through it or ignore it, and that never works.
No.
If you start to get a symptom and you don't take care of it right away, it can blow up into an issue really quick and in a
Oh
hurry.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
we've all been hurt for a long time. We've had our spinal cord injuries, decades, and it's nice to be able to still call you guys up or text you or send you a picture. Hey, Mike, what's this look like to you? And
Right.
we have to be close enough with people in our community, the people that are dealing with these things, to be able to ask serious questions like, hey guys, has this ever happened to you? Or my doctor's telling me this. What's your doctor telling you? And
Right.
and not that we're kind of second guessing people, but as people with spinal cord injuries, our bodies heal differently than able-bodied people.
Yeah.
And
right,
if our doctors don't have a lot of patients with spinal cord injuries, they may not realize what our bodies are capable of, or
Sure.
the timeline. Everything takes longer for us because we don't have good blood flow. We don't have oxygenation of our blood
right.
and whatnot. So it's good to have a good community that we can bounce ideas off of.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
And that's I think that leads more to um, the kicker is even though we've been hurt as long as we have, I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while I'm still facing something new. I'm like, huh, that's never
Yes.
happened in 31 years. It's just like Jeremy saying he was just changing a catheter. Next thing you know, he's got a geyser going off and passing stones. And you're like, what in the heck is this, man?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
kind of want to take a video and say, hey, Bo, I'm going to send you something. Don't judge me yet. But what is
Yeah.
this? What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't know what the. I was like, "What the crap is this?" And then I showed Jen. I was like, "What are these?" She's like, "Yeah, you just passed some stones, baby." I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "Well, I'm glad I couldn't feel it," you know.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But it's crazy. I guess when I first started in and outs, I was using the 14 fringe.
Yeah.
Now that I've been on the Foley for the last few years, I've upgraded to about an 18 fringe now. So
Right.
at least my
Yeah.
urethra's got a good stretch in there, so it was able to pass them a little easier. So,
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
that helps out, right?
yeah. But Mike, to go on further, I guess you're asking what I was going to do. My
Yeah.
plan is to, well, obviously, try to get with you some and get together with Roar and do some stuff like that. But then also my own, I'm going to start just doing some podcast or not podcasts, but some vlogs on either TikTok,
Yeah.
YouTube, whatever, and just talk to people about spinal cord life and just living as a paraplegic.
100%.
Just just try to help others, and you know, just hopefully, if even if
I
it just
love
helps
it, dude.
one, that's all that matters. But just to get out there and stop sort of being a hermit about everything. I mean, it's easy to in the community, go out in the community, people see and talk a little bit, but they don't really, you can't really open up and tell them everything that we've dealt with as dealing with spinal cord injury. So at least with that, I'll be able to just sort of explain from day one what it was like to where I'm at 25 years later, and stuff. And then
Guaranteed.
also mainly just to give glory to God for all that He's done for us in for me, the last 25 years as well. So,
Preach that.
Jeremy, we think about all the friends that we've lost in
Yes.
20, in 25, 27, 31 years. We've known a lot of people that didn't get as much time as we have.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like to take a pause every once in a while and just think about how lucky and how blessed we are that things didn't go wrong for us where you have a UTI and it becomes sepsis and you go to the hospital and, you end up expiring in 2 weeks. We've had a lot of time with our families and
Yeah.
a lot of experiences that, frankly, I just don't think I deserve sometimes the amount of joy and blessings that I've received. A lot of times I just don't think I deserve the amount of time I've gotten. So there's a lot of people that didn't, and I like to take pause of that every once in a while.
yeah, absolutely. I know we got to. I usually the first thing I do in the morning is just give a shout out to the Lord for giving me another day here and blessing me with such a wonderful family, friends, and loved ones. And like I said earlier, we're not promised tomorrow, so we just or I'm just thankful for every second we get here. Even the good days and the bad days, man. It's
Yes, sir.
We're still here, and
Yeah.
we just got to fight through them, and that's part of life. No, we were never promised it would be easy, and definitely spinal cord injury definitely ain't easy sometimes,
No.
but
No.
we just got to keep on keeping on.
Well, that's the thing, man. And Jeremy, I encourage you to do that, dude. Those blogs and vlogs and all of that, they'll go a long way, man. You'll be surprised at the number of people just hearing your voice or seeing you or being able to talk through it. That's what it's about. I think, the good Lord's given us a new platform. He's changed our mission statement, and now we can get back out and do a lot more. Dude, I miss hanging out with you. We got to get together, and we're not that far apart.
Right.
I'm trying to get Trainer to come down here and visit. So we got to get into a
Yeah.
lot more stuff. And the more that we can do together, man, just showing the society that, life goes on despite us looking a little different. We just traverse, the ground's different and we get out and about. So man, I give you kudos. Tell your bride, man, we're excited for her with school. You're
Yeah.
right. She's as smart as they come. have no doubt that she's going to do good. And I know Anna's good addition along with Lucky over there. We didn't get to introduce the pup, but
Yeah.
it's all about just getting back and sharing community and life. And so, man, I give you kudos for it, brother, and I hope that we can get together real soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll definitely will. And well, August 23rd, right?
Yes.
Is it still
Yeah.
on?
It's
Okay.
on, dude. Yep.
What
We got
time
some
did you say
advocacy
that?
work.
Was it 2 or 3? What time did it start? Two to
Yeah.
six?
I'm going to send you all the information and a
I
link.
can't
That way
remember.
we
Yeah.
can get back together.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
before we before we let you off of here today, buddy, I know you're busy and we're coming up on our hour for our podcast. But if somebody had a question or wanted to contact you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I would just say they could contact me on just Jeremy Kerr at att.net, or hang on, let me see what my uh, TikTok is now. I can't remember. I had to change it not too long ago. Let's see.
All the social media sites, man.
Yes,
Everybody's got 27 handles anymore.
That's right. That's right. But Mike, that's a great way for people to stay in touch with each other. And
at
I mean,
Absolutely.
at Jeremy Kerr 4, at Jeremy Kerr 4, number 4.
perfect,
Okay.
buddy. Perfect. Well, Jeremy, we sure appreciate you coming on today's podcast and everything you're doing.
Absolutely, Greg. And Mike, I always enjoy it, and it's always fun to reminisce on things, and then also to just talk about spinal cord injury with others and let them know what's going on, and to just share everyday life with you guys. It's fun, and that's how we continue to encourage and motivate each other. Seeing each other succeed at certain things, it helps motivate us. And that's what
Yes,
it's all
sir.
about.
It's definitely not all negative. We're living
Now,
proof. We're living proof of that. I mean, we talked about a lot of negative issues today, but we also joked around about it. And we're thankful that we're still here, thankful that we have time with our families, and thankful that we can share with the community.
that we're processing through, man. So those are not stopping points. They're just hiccups in the road that we're going to still try to positively push through. And I have no doubt we'll be bouncing back after this and right back to get back onto the nitty gritty of life and see what the next hurdle is going to be.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
going to be wound free too, right, Mike
That's
and
what we're waiting on,
Greg,
brother, right
next
there.
year? Yep.
Wound free in 2027. That's the goal,
Yeah.
boys.
That's it.
Yep.
Hey, we're going to drop the
Absolutely.
ball this year on that and be able to celebrate it New Year.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
But
Yeah.
Folks,
I might have to drink 2 glasses of wine after that celebration,
there you
Mike.
go.
oh man, oh man. Well, folks, thanks for listening to the Accessible Hunter podcast today. We sure appreciate you tuning in and giving us your time. And we hope it gave you guys some things to think about today. And, realize that life goes on and we're all struggling together, but we're all moving forward together.
Absolutely.